Good morning and happy Friday, everybody. Oh, thank you, Meg. Meg's pulling up the chat there. So, welcome to the Coffee Table Talks. How are you? How is
Not
everybody? Say
I'm doing
hello.
well. I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Pretty fantastic. It's beautiful outside.
Morning, Neil.
Louisiana finally figured out that it was autumn ish. Now it's going to get up to like, mid 80s today, but this morning it's, and in the mornings lately it's been brisk and cool. And this is our pre-Halloween episode, so happy spooky month. Also excited about that. Yeah. Meg, we're missing a ticker. We forgot our ticker. We need that.
Oh, the ticker
No.
at the bottom. Oh, there we go. There we go. Because
Yeah.
I forgot who I was. Okay, cool. Thank you, Meg.
Good. You're welcome.
I'm Sam Focht, Python. There we go. Okay.
That is the most G rated mispronunciation of your name that I have heard.
And when you're at your house, and guys, there's usually an HR chat later. And did you call him? I've heard it before. No, he can't call you that. It's fine. Heard it 1,000 times. Won't be the last time.
I was in a panic because I was like, I said it and it didn't click, and then I said it in front of Meg. Oh, wait. Let me back up real quick. Hi, I'm Rachel Arnold. I am the human API with Secure Nation. This is Will McCullen. Will, there he is. He is the program manager at the IT Center for Excellence at Pima Community College in Tucson, Arizona. And with us today, and I was panicked, so I checked several times, and there were the German pronunciation of your last name is the one that was going to be consequential. And it didn't click for me until I said who you were to Meg, and she went, "What is his last name?" And I was like, "We're gonna get banned from every platform." And I double checked it. Like I did all this research just to make sure, like practiced it. I was like, if you say it just right in the German, it's not bad.
4-year-old.
Right. So
there you think about that.
So, so joining us today is Sam Focht, who runs a very awesome YouTube channel called Python Basics. And we'll get to why it is that Sam was inspired to do this, what it is that Sam's been doing throughout his career. You were with Walmart for 23 years?
Yep. Started out in the store 23 years. Started out unloading hot trucks in the back of the store in Auburn, Alabama. And actually started in July. The absolutely worst month. And they sit on the yard for all day, and then you go in there at 2 p.m. Perfect time. It was they really thought about everything. They thought about everything. And it wasn't the free, it was the general store side. So it was 197 degrees in the trailers. So 23 years, and I've done a lot of stuff. And we'll begin to unpack all that. But yeah, I have a very interesting, unique background from teaching, training, learning, development, iteration, anything you can think about. I've probably done it.
Wow. Okay. So Rob Fox. Oh, hey, good morning, Rob. My grandfather changed our name from, I can't say that on. I had some aunts who had issues growing up. Yes, I feel bad for anybody that had the first name Sharon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's bad. We're gonna make so many puns. Good morning, Aaron. How are you? So glad you made it. Yeah. So my yeah, I'll go ahead. That's fine. I trust all of you that you're good people, and you're not going to use my maiden name against me. My maiden name is spelled SCH. Everybody writing this down? IFF. And I experienced a bit of the wow, your last name sounds like a curse word. And so that's why I was concerned. I'm glad that we hashed it out in the pre-show, though.
Yes.
Yeah, Sam gave you some good tips. So very good.
And if it would have slipped by, it wouldn't have been the first, won't be the last, and it does not even the thick skin that I have acquired over the years for names. I mean, Sam, I am Green, like we spoke of. I've heard them all. I got it coming, going, standing still in all directions.
That's terrible.
Well, I've been around for a while, so I was there when the original Willy Wonka came out in the theaters, right? So that got attached to me all over the place.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Fun. You're the ship. Yes, I am. Yep. Nailed it, Rob.
Oh, that's funny.
So Walmart, 23 years. Okay, started out unloading trucks.
Yep.
So how does this, can you paint, I need a word picture. Can you paint me a word picture about how one goes from unloading trucks to creating a YouTube with, how many followers do you have nowadays? Like
13K plus.
13K plus followers. In a very and that's a niche topic that you focus on.
It's very, very, very niche, but I have a very strong following, and I guess that's what I wanted to do. And yeah, I think it was last month I surpassed a million views on the channel.
Right.
And
like,
then,
how did you just?
That's
what inspired you? I know what the back dock at a grocery or retail store looks like. There is nothing there other than perhaps in Alabama somebody accidentally let their python out. It would make you go, you know what I should do? I should learn how to cook. And how did you
it's really interesting. So there was an article, actually it was past an article. So like I said, I've had a very interesting background. Probably one of the biggest influences I had was I grew up, my parents still run a small business. So I was with them all the time. So that's important because following business, following markets, Wall Street Journal. So I was reading the Wall Street Journal. There was an insert about big data about 9 years ago.
Okay.
And I was obsessed with this insert and I was just going over it, and Python kept showing up. And back in 90, so you can see my age, back in 95, I tried to learn C++. Didn't go well. So that was at a summer program at Vanderbilt. So still never was so intrigued with it, couldn't do it. So read this article about big data, which nobody really knew what it was. So they just kept saying it over and over and over again to make it something. Python was in there. So after I read this, all the art, I think I read the entire thing. It was probably 30 pages of this insert. So then I found out, wait a minute, Python is open source and I can download it. So I started to play around with this and I started to learn, but I was getting stuck. Then I remembered from my training background, from being at the warehouse, teaching people operations, equipment. I also I spent time as a teen learning martial arts, but I knew that when you train something, and we talked about this before, and hope Will and I can chat some more about it, but there's always somebody in front of you. There's always somebody behind you. So you're pulling the people in front of you so you're trying to pull up and you're dragging the people behind you. So you're learning from somebody and you're teaching somebody, and it flows through you, which is super important because that's how you really, really cement something. So side note of that. So the training, I knew that if I wanted to get better at Python, I needed to start teaching it. So I basically, sorry about the background noise. We have a lot of moving parts in our house. So I knew that I needed to figure out a way to teach Python to get better. So I talked my kids' schools into letting me tutor and come in, and I worked with the school board. You want to talk about having to jump through hoops to get stuff done, to get a open source program installed on a computer lab in a county school in rural Alabama.
They're terrified. Were they terrified?
They're like, what do you want to do? Like, they thought I was going to come and scam and steal everything out of the end. And I'm like, I want to volunteer. Why? What do you need? I don't need anything. I mean, it was so, then I kept going to the principals. This took like 2 years. And I go, you know what? I got this rapport with the teachers. I did an end runaround, went to the teacher, and she goes, hey, I know the director of technology. Really? So he goes, I emailed him and I said, hey, this is what I want to do. He goes, awesome. Which schools? And I go, the middle school and the elementary school. He goes, give me a week. I'm going to send you my guy. He's going to set it up. I'm going to set you up with the communications, the librarian, but they do so much more. She's the tech person. She does this, handles for me. Then I started teaching, and I would have so many of these aha moments while I was teaching. And I went, yep, this is even better than I thought. So fast forward 2 more years, my middle son, he was on YouTube and he was trying to stream and he goes, Dad, you need to have a YouTube channel. So I was like, I don't know about that going around. So I did it. Then check out. Oh, thank you very much. Then fast forward. I knew to get real growth, I was going to have to commit to it. So I stepped up and I did a video a day for a year, 365 videos in 365 days, while I had teenagers down to single digit kids, a house, a job. And I was like, wow. Okay. So I kept saying, if I can do this, anybody can do this. And I mean, it was just, now I have 1,000, I think today's video that's going to publish is going to be 1,122 videos. And I also stream basically every day while I'm looking for my next opportunity. So it's probably the coolest thing that I've done. And then what's really hit over the past couple months is the similarities between programming and data and jujitsu. That's blown me away the most. Like you wouldn't put those in the same bucket. They're basically the same thing. They're basically the same. They're almost exactly the same, to be honest. I know that sounds really weird, and now that would be a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Programming jujitsu. Wait. I would have 1 viewer.
we have a question from Rob. Thank you, Rob.
All right.
And I think he's asking about, just who you have in mind when you make your channel, right? Are college kids, programmers, makers, and STEM or STEAM kids your targeted audience? Which one? Or is it for it
is even more specific than that. So the way that this channel came to be is I was filling in gaps that were nowhere else on the internet. So you go and so I've done pretty much accessing everything. So we're not to point fingers, but no, we'll just be vague. There's an online open source platform of a very well-known university. And lesson 1 is write a function that takes in your name and prints it out. Cool. I can do that. Okay. Lesson 2, write a program that finds the 1,000th prime number. What? Aren't there like 9,000 steps in between that? Yes, but you're smart. Go figure it out. So that was the birth of the channel. So it was to fill in the gaps and that's how I get found. Now the YouTube algorithm doesn't like me because people only want to come and watch my one thing, but I kind of don't care because that's why I make it, is so people don't have to watch a 2-hour video. My average length of my video is 3.3 minutes.
Wait. I want to put something in here because you said write the 1,000th thing. Can you check my code for me?
Check if a number is prime. Okay, so that is her. Oh, are they not seeing that? Because with that, put that in chat so everybody can see, and we can go through a coding lesson.
I like it. Hold on. Let me see.
So what Rachel's done is she's creating a function. Prime number.
Here we go.
Okay.
Wait. Okay. I put it. Wait, you got to do the see more.
Yep. Okay. All right. So the top of this is now, if you guys want to see, okay, I'm going to do this as my tutoring hat. So, all right, this is a definition, and you have your header and your body. Okay. Your header is what are you going to do, and your body, it's head and the body of what it is, and then what's it going to do. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. So you have def. That's saying to Python, hey, I'm going to create a function because there are keywords. There's certain words you can't use in Python. Then is prime, that's the name of your function. So you have 4 things with an optional 1. The in is the optional 1. So you have def, name of function, parentheses, and a colon. Have to have those. Right. Then you have your in, which is your optional argument that you can take in. Then you have your doc string. I love that. That's documenting. So in those quotation marks, those, and you did a triple quotation. Highly recommend that you get props for that. You get a gold star because you do triple, because then you can do multiple lines. So, all right. And when you use this and engage it, the user will get that message and say, check if a number is prime. They're like, cool, this is the function I want to use. All right. So now let's see how you did this. All right. Oh, you went the while loop, Ray. Oh, I like that. Okay. All right. So quick definition of a prime number, if you're unaware, is it is only divisible by 1 in itself. If it's divisible by anything in between those ranges, it gets kicked out. So that's kind of your trick in programming. So we have if in less than or equal to 1, return false. So the header there says, and this was what took me forever to realize, is that when you have a header statement, it has to be true. That statement has to be true to engage the indented part of the body. So you have the if lines, and then you have a while loop, and then you have those 3 returns. So I don't know if we really want to go all the way into this, but I like how clean you wrote this, and I like this technique. I think that is very, very good.
I did good.
You did good. And you have it or. I like that. The only critique that I would have is you do not want to use multiple ifs. You want to then use an L if, because you get into some little diciness, because whenever you have an if, you're always checking the if. If you do an L if, you only engage the L if the if didn't get engaged previously. So that would be my only tweak to this.
Can I tell you that I cheated?
Sure.
Okay, I'll show you. Hold on.
Okay.
Take that down.
Okay.
I cheated. Super duper.
That's fine. Chat GPT.
Did it switch over to the right one? No.
I see your screen a little bit.
Hold on. Wait, let me get the right tab going. There it is.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we'll go like.
Now, if you want to know what's interesting, since I've been branching out into more of my data area, and we can get to that in a few minutes, but people are being asked to join like Chat GPT and being contracted out, but the amount of energy that they're having to spend on the documentation to train the API of the LLM of what the actual code is doing, they're talking about writing 10 to 20 times the amount of documentation for the LLM to learn. And I'm like, oh my God. So, I mean, it's almost to the point where you're hard code. If you really think about it, you're almost hard coding the information in, and it's not really learning how to solve. So it's very interesting.
You know what else I missed out on by cheating was I didn't understand what I did. I didn't understand I didn't know how to validate it. Like I could, right? Yes. Well, if you want to validate it, right, you go create like a sandbox environment and try it out, see if it works.
Yep.
But
edge case scenarios. Oh my God. I did not realize when I took on the last role that I had, how important edge cases were. And we can talk, we got all kinds of stuff to talk about. You will never come up with all the edge cases that a human being will, because it blew me away. We haven't even talked about this, but make a note and we can circle back to the first application that I built for our internal team. I was shocked of the things that the ways that it got broken. I was like, you did what?
Okay. So I've been sitting on this and now I just got to go crazy, right?
Okay, go.
So from what you've covered,
yes,
everybody take notice. This is the heart of an educator, right? When you have somebody who will take anything like the code just plopped out, and then as he explains it, goes into the practical, the reasons why, steps back to the simplistic portion. It doesn't just give a manual, gives the reasons why, the thoughts behind it, the motivations, right?
The feeling of it. And that's where
exactly
that's where the connection go.
We got to do a shameless plug here. Why the arts matter.
Okay.
It's an art. It's an art. I can't get an AI to craft fingers correctly, right? Like it's an art. Right. That's why the human is still so important in things.
But I also have to go back to something that you said that killed programming for so many, right? Because so many of the books that started off, I can remember back to Fortran and Pascal, right?
Okay. Yeah. I gotcha.
Of where you get that print your name and then immediately into some
crazy
dramatic math function.
Yeah.
And that just absolutely kills all momentum and inspiration and desire, curiosity. It kills it right there.
100% agree. 100% agree.
That's the heart of an educator.
When I was the term gatekeeper, I think it faded away too fast, but the gatekeepers of even some of the forums are like, you can't figure out how to do this. No, that's why I'm here. Why? Just answer well, you should have searched harder. Are you kidding me? So yeah, I stopped going out to the internet and internalized this. And I went, okay, so if I ran across something that I was building and I got stuck, guess what? That was my next video.
So I just want to say that whatever that is, right? Has anybody ever watched Schitt's Creek? I did because it was so close to my maiden name.
My wife loves it. I haven't seen it yet.
But those are the people that level of crap those are the people that I go, ew, David, like, ew.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you don't know how to do that. No, but you want to see what you could do that. Yeah. Oh, you could do that too. And I mean, it's just like, it just encourages me. and I knew I was getting somewhere about 3 years ago when I started getting hate in my comments. And I was like, okay. So, and at first one person, this is the biggest joke around my house. One person said, man, I'm so sorry. You need to stop and start over. Your channel is so small. But I didn't care. Their metrics, we talked about this earlier. Their metrics was all wrong. Right. I don't care about. I got my last cool job because of my channel, because of everything that I was learning. And I didn't, yes, I interviewed, but my channel did my interviewing for me because my future boss watched my channel and said, I can work with this guy. I can teach him anything, because if you can communicate, actually, Rachel, make a note about communication. I want to circle back to that. Sure. Because I was able to articulate, because as a data analyst, you have got to have the stakeholders in the room and be able to speak to it and get your point across and influence. And communication is not just talking. It is not just talking. If you do not listen and bring in what the stakeholder needs, it is all pointless and waste. I could go and build a huge pipeline. Could be completely wrong, but it's a really cool. Look at this shiny pipeline. I mean, it's really fast. It has 3,000 rows of data. What are we gonna do with it? You didn't tell me what we were gonna do with it. So, I mean, if you don't ask a good question or push back and say, well, wait a minute, do we need this as a real time, or can it just be a daily batch? Oh, I guess I only look at it in the morning. So daily batch it is. So it's that back and forth and that push and pull.
Right.
So it's just an interesting. Yeah. Because when I started to make the YouTube channel, it was to fill in the gaps for me. And if somebody else was out there like me, that it would fill in their gaps as well. And I get all these comments. I've looked for 2 hours for this. Thank you so much. And all they have to do. So they spend 2 hours searching instead of finding a video that YouTube puts up. And then they have to watch 2 hours and go through. My streams are 2 hours, but the content of the lesson or the thing that you're looking for is 3 minutes. You can spend 3 minutes, but I'm trying to get up on the algorithm to so people are able to find what they're looking for easier. So yeah. But yeah, communication. So had this aha and this is also back to, so I'm live streaming, side note, also to improve what my interviewing skills. So when I'm doing, because we're doing live coding sessions, if you want to raise your stress level or learn to cope with it, stream on the internet a live or seen before and see how you do. But I'm doing that to mimic an interview as well. So I had this aha moment, and that usually turns into a video. But communication. So here's where the aha was. You know how they always say on a job description, be a good communicator?
Yeah.
Okay, so we love that. But this is the gap in development and education. I've never heard anybody say this before. So you want a good communicator, and you think it's because they can articulate a thought. That's the last piece. What you really want, what you're asking for, is you want a good employee who really dives into the work and understands every little nuance of everything that they're doing and speaking to, and it becomes a part of them. And then their sub effect is, they subsequently become a good communicator. But that's all we see. We don't see the work beforehand to go and, because I would just dive into, I hated, like if I were to have to do this talk probably 2 years ago, I probably would have been, hey, Rachel, cool. I like Kids Machida. I'm not going to do this. Bye. But doing these live streams, so it's cool. Bye. Nice to meet you. But my old boss, he's like, hey, we're going to get you really comfortable being uncomfortable. I do not like the sound of that. Side note, that's what you do in jiu-jitsu. when you're getting choked, you're like, this isn't that bad, as you're lying. So, but you get comfortable being uncomfortable. And so I would dive into the data, and then I would come out, and my boss would be like, hey, what you did really good at what changed? I said, because we were talking about data, and I knew the data, and I partnered with blank, and I answered all their questions, and I knew I immerse myself. Yep. So the thing that I do what I can control, I can show up and I can outwork everybody. I won't be the smartest in the room. I'm not going to write the best code in the room, but I'm going to be there longer than everybody, and I'm going to try harder than everybody. And then subsequently after, with all the effort, I'm going to know more than everybody. And I just outlast everybody. I mean, it's like Steve Rogers. I can do this all day.
Yeah.
So students, are you listening? Right. This is part of the educator. He is passing on life experiences and telling you about all the potholes that he hit so that you can avoid them.
Yep. Sometimes I would dive so far into a problem or a project that other people would think I was stepping on their toes. And I was like, I'm not. My brain, my neurospicy brain works in such a way that for me to get the complete picture, I have to make sure I have shown a light on every single piece of whatever is related to this I can possibly find. I don't like the big light in real life, but whenever I'm working on a project, I turn on all the big lights, all of them. I will talk to the people. I will consult the platforms where the data lives. Mm-hmm. I will look at the history of the thing. We will do an emotional dive into how people fit. Cause my focus is vendor relationships. So I'll do an emotional dive. I'll look at the context of the company, the third-party partnership, how it may be trending across their lifetime, where they might be headed. So my neurospiciness also means that I have very little. I understand that there are social norms. Okay, I get that. I have very little care or consideration for them.
Right. Yes. You have to. No. If you want to push and develop, you have to do that, because it's because the other way is the poison of everything. We've always done it this way.
Yeah, no, I don't care. I absolutely don't care if we've always done it this way. I don't care. We're doing it this way now. We're going to try it out, kind of thing. But when it comes to finding out the patterns of where a company, like a third-party organization, is going, I will literally and seriously reach out to the CEO of that company, every executive assistant that I can find under that title, until someone talks to me and answers me. I call it politely persistent.
Yes.
Some people call it really aggressive, but I call it politely persistent.
Yeah.
And then I will get my stakeholders on the line with that person in there in that conversation to ask the questions they want to ask. Like, I don't stop. It's like a dog with a bone. And I think that really comes from the fact that for all intensive purposes, other people think that I have a learning disability. It's not a disability. It is 100% my superpower that makes me just go, I don't give a shit what your title says you do. I know you're the person that has the answers I want. Yep. That's it. Straight to it.
Give me the information. Sorry, Will, go ahead.
The other thing too, I'd like to bring in, my father was a professor, right?
Okay.
And he used to tell me that students rebel at knowledge out of context. And so much of programs these days is all about giving out knowledge factoids for regurgitation, right? But you're throwing in context. And we talked about just previous to the show that I think everybody would love to hear about in the K-12 space and things like that when you were teaching. Could you cover a little bit of that on the experience?
Absolutely. So when I started on a individual teacher level, and then I partnered with more teachers, and then STEM days came. One teacher who was really pushing and making everybody uncomfortable, and I was partnered with her a lot. STEM days, she goes, "Do you think there's more people around here who would come and do this?" And I said, absolutely. And I knew a few, and then she started making phone calls. So we made STEM days. So it was an entire day, and I would get every single class in the lab, and I'd have them for 40 minutes. And that would be so intense. And now when I did this the first year, I fell for this, and I was actually pretty mad at myself, but it was the teacher who had the kids in the bucket who were the slower kids. And she pulled me off aside. She said, "Hey, you're gonna need to go a little slower with them." And I was like, okay. Well, I went to the first thing and I started getting answers. I went to the second thing, started getting answers faster. Then I completely changed gears. We would move farther through the material with a greater comprehension, with the greater number of students. And then the next year, and the teachers would come up to me and go, I think I had these kids all wrong. And I'd go, because I was in that group. Yeah. So then I would get the next year, I'd hear the same thing, and then I'd be really mad. And I'd be like, why don't you just hang out and see how this goes? And so I would have different material for those kids because I would already partner with them throughout the year. So I would know we'd have a background and we'd be working on. Some kids would be like, "Hey, can we build a calculator?" Sure, we can build a calculator. And we would do these things, and their brain, because I am them and they are me. So I was trying to be an advocate, and I was without doing it. I call it Bob Rossing. Everything I try to do, I try to Bob Ross, where you're sitting there, you're painting, you're a draw stick. Hey, I got a painting. Yeah, very good. Good job. You got a painting. Okay. So I don't tell them what they're going to do. We fall back. We fall back into it. So we're going to do this. We're going to build this. We're going to add a line here. We're going to do this. So those kids who were quote unquote not in the standardized bucket were actually the better performers at programming and could grasp these concepts because they didn't have this disillusion of, I have to explain this as a human being. I need to explain this like a 5-year-old, a really, really, really articulate 5-year-old. That's what programming is. And you write down these instructions, and they would build some of the coolest stuff. Some of them I would get very specific who needed that. Then I would give this really vague instructions, and I would see some of it like GUI, graphical user interface. It's Turtle with Python, and you can build all kinds of shapes. There was this one individual kid. He figured out a way to build a snowflake. He blew us all away. I turned it over to him and let him show us how he determined the angles and the persistence of how to program and get that to come out of the screen. And it was one of the coolest things that I had ever seen. And his teacher never looked at him the same. And she said, "Yeah, I'm my bad. Oops." I went, "Yeah, oops. You guys have had them in this bucket for 8 years, and they're in the wrong bucket."
Right. So, they should be. Why didn't you peel them off and put them in the eccentric genius bucket? That's the bucket they should have been in.
Exactly. But the way we've talked about this, the way the system is designed, and if you want to buck the system, good luck with that. You got to have to know somebody to be able to pull off something like this. Budget requests or just even installing things on a public network at a public school. The forms that that had to get filled out and signed off on were crazy, but I did it because it was important, and I wanted to. And if you want to do something, make sure you're passionate about it. If you're passionate about it, nothing's going to stop you.
Will, don't cry. I can see you getting all the clumps over there. You're like, oh, what a minch.
Oh my goodness. Is there anybody on this stream that would even know what you're okay? That is a Saturday Night Live skit from 92 to 93. It was
Damn it, now Sam's telling everybody how old I am. Jesus.
It was Michael Myers. Oh, and I can't see who, but it was actually his mother-in-law was the inspiration of that backstory. So
yeah. Do you know that this show is called The Coffee Table Talks? Coffee table, neither a coffee or a table. Discuss.
Oh my God, I've never put that. I did not put that together. But now this is all coming full circle.
Did you see my Did you see my snowflake that I made?
I did. That was very good. That was very good.
I made a snowflake.
That was very good.
It's very intricate. Yeah. Lots of angles.
Well, this is fantastic, and I agree with you 100%. Across this nation, K-12, higher ed, whatever education, we've got to find a way to break this mold that if you're not in a box, they'll create a box.
Yeah.
Humans love to categorize stuff, but man, we get it wrong so much.
Yeah, I mean, we're not supposed to. So, I mean, we're not supposed to stereotype people, but we teach a kid that we stereotype them. I mean, we 100% do, and that drives me bananas. And they're like, you almost fit in this box, so let me just cram you in this box here. Perfect. Go be with them over there. I don't know any of them over there. You'll be all right. I mean, it's just it's just insane.
Yeah. The hard part is too, we've got educators across this nation that are fighting tooth and nail with passion and with drive to break out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And those are the ones that I was able to partner with in my area. And I could sniff them out. I could tell that they were annoyed, and I went, "Hey, do you want me to teach them how to program?" What? And they'd be like, yes, please come and show them what you do and how to think differently. And it's just free. I mean, knowledge is power, and it's just freeing, because then you can just sit and wonder and think and solve problems, because the smarter you get, the stronger you get, the freer you are, the happier you are. And it just is this self-fulfilling prophecy, and you just go around and go around and go around. And it's just the most interesting thing. I mean, the things that I thought I was learning, I thought I was pretty good at SQL until I signed up for this boot camp. And in a week, I've already learned so much unbelievable things. But it's always out there, and just I mean, look, I'm 47. I started learning to program at 36. If I can do it, anybody can do it. And you just have to have. You have to have let me take that back. You just have to show up every day. Don't have the want to. You have to have the want to. You have to just show up every day. And that's also like jiu-jitsu. It's gonna be bad. Your first program is going to be awful. My first YouTube video is the worst video on the internet. Episode 1. It is so. It is. Pull it up.
Hold on.
Episode 1. Go to my channel. Sort it. It is. But now here's what I did. I numbered the episodes so I couldn't delete it. I think I've deleted one video because I just kept correcting myself too many times in it. So that was the only video because I didn't want bad information on the internet. But I left episode 1 up. The sizing's wrong. Oh, it's so because it was a microphone and a camera, and I think it's out of sync. It is so bad. But you have to get those yucks out of your system. And then I think it was a writer. He used to write for West Wing, and it was on a whiteboard. He goes, "All right, everybody, let's write down our 10 bad ideas." And you see the students go, wait a minute, what? He goes, "Oh, we're getting these all out of the way." He goes, "We're just getting the bad ideas out of the way. So everything that'll be left will be really good ideas." And I was like, that is the coolest thing that I've ever heard. To get okay with knowing that your first couple tries are going to be awful. And then you just embrace it and you do a post-mortem on it. Okay, what could I do different? I actually kind of get excited when I would be back at the building and I'd make a mistake because that would mean that I was about to learn something. So it was always uncomfortable while I was doing it. But everybody's like, "How do you know so much?" Because I have screwed up more than anybody in here times 2. But I just showed up every day. And that
I cannot even find your first episode. Do you know I'm trying to find it desperately?
Okay. I'm actually, oh my God, I'm actually going to put this link in here. Okay, hang on. Oh, I'm going to throw up.
Look, I'll do you a trade. Okay. Oh. I will give you my first live stream for yours. All right.
Okay, there it is. It's called episode 1 string assignment. It doesn't even fit on the screen, Rachel. It's like, I'm like over here in the corner. I'm like, hey guys. I'm Sam. We're gonna learn Python. I mean, it's just so bad. It's so
Look
bad.
how adorable you are.
And it was 7 years ago. I started my YouTube channel at 40. So I started at 40. 40 was an interesting year, not just turning 40, but it did a lot of stuff.
Okay, so do we put this in chat?
Yeah.
We're just
hey, look, because if you can do this and put this on the internet, nobody's gonna bother you. Nobody's gonna be able to get through your skin because it is. If you're comfortable enough doing this, and that's why I do my live streams, is because I forget what part of the brain it is, and I'm not going to embarrass myself and try to speak to it, but it's the one about doing things. It's the segment of when you're doing something that you don't really want to do and you're uncomfortable. That actually grows and gets stronger. And I was like, wait a minute, what? So I did a little bit of research on it, and I was like, oh wow, you don't get comfortable doing the uncomfortable. Your brain stops being uncomfortable. And I was like, that actually makes a lot more sense. I thought you were building up a tolerance to it. I mean, yeah, you can go. Yeah, you can go ahead and put it in. And it's not coming up. It didn't come up.
Well, that was just I tried doing it in the YouTube chat, which is supposed to transfer over, and that didn't seem to come through.
Oh,
which was frustrating.
That's weird.
So
but yeah, just at Python. Python basics, and then you can sort by episode. Yeah, because it's episode 1. Oh my gosh, is that it?
That's the start of my episode 1. Look who's there.
Oh my goodness.
And Evan. Oh, I did a spot on his podcast last night. We talked forever, man. It was great to catch up with Evan though. And then there's Levy. Look at us. Look at the babies.
Look at that background.
You guys look good. No, that's still you had to show good. That's good. That you didn't actually. Did you watch my vid? You wouldn't. Now I know you have. See, I thought we were cool because if you
I'm
watch
still
my
watching
video,
your video.
this
It's
is like
4.
Chandler. This is like Joey and Chandler going, I know you didn't watch it. I watched it because you would not have put that up. You're like, yeah, yours is okay. And then you wouldn't have put that up because that is still better than mine.
Yours is fine. It just needs
You said fine. I know what look, I've been married for 24 years.
Fine.
I know what fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It just needs a little shading. That's all.
Yeah, you just round your shirt's tight in the midsection, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I like it. Like it's good. So I'm gonna say it. So you're a liar. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I did look at it's not even. Oh my God, you're playing. Don't
say I'm lying.
I'm dying. I'm dying. Well, it's good talking with you all.
It's great. I like it.
So
that was mine was, I titled it E1.
Okay.
But I did a couple other live streams before that, and I called it the Pioneer Series.
Okay.
And it was like InfoSec people that like started our industry. And the idea was that I was going to find
so cool.
That I was going to find more of them. You guys, I found one that started in Vietnam.
Oh my God.
With like some super secret squirrely group in the army that did radio signal intelligence.
No way.
It was so cool. It was really cool. We did two sessions with him, and then I went to go find more, and sadly they are deceased, or they don't want to talk to anybody.
Well, the radio intelligence, if I remember my history right, the radio intelligence people moved over. Now the podcast is going to be on a list. Moved over to NSA. All of those that started with the radio intelligence. I mean, it was just crazy and bananas because they were just really good at patterns and pattern recognition and things like that, and keyword analysis. So, yeah. All of those people are just way above. Actually, can we double back to gatekeepers for a second? Because I remembered, because Will made a comment about turning people off to it, and I'm trying to grow my audience on LinkedIn, and I didn't want to make this post, but I saw a post and it really made me mad. It was, if you want to learn programming, really the first thing you need to do is you need to become really good at statistics. I was so I can't do statistics.
Why?
I can answer. I have no idea. But that was a gatekeeper of gatekeepers. I was just wanting to bash my head into the screen, and I can solve any problem on Leak Code, medium or hard, in Python or in SQL. I can't do. I know if there's more M&Ms that are red and I reach into the bag, I got a greater chance of pulling out a red M&M. That's my level of statistics. But I can write an algorithm to solve that because I don't have to do the math. So when people say that and they go, just crashed outside my house. Okay, my goodness.
Oh, you don't have to read those out loud. You're okay.
My bad. I was like, does she need to go?
No, it's okay.
Because okay. So my bad. I'm new at this. So okay. But no, the gatekeepers I have a real qualm with, because like Will was speaking to, that will shut somebody down who you don't know who could be a genius that gets told at the door, you're not cool to be in here. Okay, side note, I'm reading 2 parallel books about the bomb. One Oppenheimer, the Oppenheimer book, Oppenheimer, and one other one that covers the entire history of the nuclear sciences.
We're definitely getting on a list now. You said NSA and bomb.
So, we're on YouTube. We're not supposed to.
It was nice to know everybody.
Okay. But what Oppenheimer would do when in his lectures is he would augment the lecture to who was in the room. And then there would be a student who needed a idea for a dissertation, and he would hide it in the stacks and then have that be the lecture for the day. to stir their memory, they could do this. So he was the first one that was basically encouraging, and that person ended up student at the time became a very well-known professor at Berkeley, but was struggling at the time because comprehension, motivation, inspiration, whatever X was. But then this other student, what I loved about this story is this other student wanted to do that same topic, and he snatched it out of his hand, out of the pile of papers, and says, "This isn't for you. You can do any of these," and shoved it back in there. And then the student who was struggling came in and said, "Why don't you look through here?" So the student accidentally found it, which is exactly the topic. And he goes, "Hey, why don't I do this?" "Oh, that's a really good idea." So you have to be, if you're a gatekeeper and you're not encouraging somebody, or if you're not encouraging somebody to learn something, you're a gatekeeper, and you need to really, really, really reanalyze what your goals are. You should be inspiring somebody, because if you can do it, when you started, here's a Harry Potter quote, all of the great wizards started out not knowing anything either. So you were in their shoes. So get them to where you are. So have them try to walk their own path to get to where you are. So that's how I feel about gatekeepers. Not a big fan of them.
Absolutely. And really good educators are the ones that inspire. My dad, who was a physics professor, right? He did his work he got his graduate work at Princeton University.
Wow.
And my mother was a pharmacist who was putting him through college at the time.
Wow.
One of her customers, his wife had issues that was into the pharmacy regularly, and that was Dr. Oppenheimer.
Yep. That is crazy.
At the same time, there was a physicist by the name of Eric Rogers that if you go and you can get some YouTube videos, incredibly inspiring. And, physics can open up, it's kind of like the
everything,
the cybersecurity of the computer world, right? You don't take, you can take programming, you can take systems, you can take networking, but cyber kind of covers all of that, kind of like physics covers all of those sciences.
100%.
And it's all about the inspiration. Anybody can jump in, anybody can contribute. All you have to do is find a passion, find an interest, and that's where, hats off to you, sir, because you are taking that element and sparking imagination, and instead of going through the rote process, you're helping to provide inspiration that will lead to folks finding stuff out on their own.
I call it the aha moment. And I'm sure if you've had all that experience with physics and being in the upper echelons of upper education, with actually driving and discovery and research and just change management, all of those things. I had heard it and have revisited it again, but Richard Feynman, if you want to learn something, if you want to become perfect at something, teach it. And when I heard that, I was like, okay, well, that will do, because you can go forwards and backwards, and I also love the question why. And if you really watch people and they ask why and then they get frustrated, that's not the person to ask, because they don't really know. They can't dissect it small enough, and you need to just change it. It's not you. Keep asking why. Find a person who will tell you why and loves being in a room with you. Keep asking why, because they truly understand it and can dissect the problem, just like jujitsu. So, I mean, it's just great. Like, it is crazy. Like, every day I'm sitting here and I'm typing something, or I'm at jujitsu and I go, oh, wait a minute, I need to try that. And that clicks because you're constantly thinking about something over and over and over again.
Yeah. And the other thing that I applaud you for, sir, because you can tell my father was one of my heroes. One of the things that he also used to say is that before a teacher can teach a subject, they have to teach the love of their subject. And that's what you're doing. That makes all the difference in the world. Well done.
Well, I appreciate that, because you watch some of these YouTube videos and they're like, you're going to do this and you write deaf. Why do you write deaf? You just write deaf. I mean, you have to unpack and just go, hey. And what I also learned is I feel like when I record my video, I feel like I'm so up and energetic, and then you rewatch it back and it's just normal, and I'm like, okay, so I have to really like when I'm doing my live stream, I'm just kind of laid back and chill, and then then I record and do the video of the day. And they come over and they're like, wow, you were really, and I like, you have to be, or somebody's going to click on it and go like, okay, I don't want to watch this. But you have to be engaged. You have to care. You have to meet them where they are. And I know those all sound cliche terms, but that is it. And when I'm making that video, that person has been searching for hours to find that one thing out of the 2 billion videos on YouTube to fix the thing that they care about. So you have to care as much, or why do it? Why if you then don't do it. Then just find something else. Find something you do care about. So
what are there videos or playlists on your Meg asked this question. She's host. Whenever you see host come up, that's Meg asking questions.
I got it. Okay, got it.
So let me put it, I'm going to provide a little color, and Meg, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but when I'm sitting here talking to you this whole time, I'm thinking about Case's oldest son, Case. Case is very interested in learning IT stuff. Actually, for Halloween, he is going as a hacker.
That is cool. that is so very cool.
Or whatever the internet today thinks is a hacker. That's what he's going as. Like,
oh, so you're talking t-shirts, sweats, and bunny slippers?
Right? No, this is like, it's like a weird mashup between what his generation sees as a masked hacker and what we hate at our age as them calling hacker. It's the hoodie, the gloves, the black clothes.
Oh, okay. So is he going to go as a white hat or a black hat?
So black hat, and then there's this mask that's it's got LEDs on it, programmable LEDs. And you can change what it is. It looks really cool. It looks cool. Okay, it's gonna look cool. He's the coolest kid on the street. Like I'm so glad my kids know him. Because they're not like, they're cool, but they're not like other people don't see it yet. You know what I mean? So anyway, if she were to take Case, right, and say, Case, if you want to learn how to do Python, you should check out our friend Sam Focht's channel. What would be the one, because you have so much content, right? What would be the one that you would recommend for 12-year-old Case?
So that's a really good question. So I've tried to organize this, and that's actually been one of the pieces of feedback that I've gotten from my audience, is that there's so much to digest. So I believe I've made a playlist, and it is let's see, we may need to do this off. I do have them grouped, so for help I have them grouped in 100 group sections, so you only have to go through them 100 at a time. But I think I have one called Getting Started, because I have 35 playlists. So there, because it's just so much content. But we may need to put that in off. Hang on, Getting Started. Hang on, where did it go? It's because I realized after I got started is that episode 1 didn't even entail how to get Python on your computer. So as I was going with this iteration, I realized that, hey, and whenever I do my live streams, I always try to think of, there's somebody in the room who's brand new. So I never speak to content that is above someone who is starting out that isn't a week or two in. So we never speak too sophisticated. I try to think about like the Wall Street Journal writes on a 6th grade reading level. So I always try to think about that we have beginners in the audience, And then if you're more advanced, you can take what we're talking about, generalize, and go from there. So let me pull this up. So it's 6. It's 6. I don't have the link here. I may need to send it. I thought I could, but it starts with episode 37. But yeah, you can go to the playlist and start with getting started. And it walks you through installing Python on your machine. What is a string? What is an int? And just the building blocks of how Python kind of works. But I would suggest starting there. And then also, if you're on your desktop, you can search. If you go inside the channel, you can search for any topic with the hourglass, not the hourglass, the magnifying glass.
Gotcha.
And be able to find any video, because like I said, there are 1,100 videos, and I do know it's a lot, and it is a lot. There we go. Getting started. Thank you. That is exactly it.
Yeah. Very cool. Nice. That is awesome. We're gonna have to wrap up. Did you realize that
I had no idea, and I just looked down. So this has been absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no, are you kidding me? Thank you for coming and hanging out and talking to us about one, that you have a channel that's awesome. 2, how to navigate it. Also, just being able to discuss some of the neurospicy aspects of genius level superpower unlocking. Right, don't always believe your first perception of somebody else's reality.
Yep.
Try to see them in a different light, right? You utilize other perceptions as well. And I really enjoyed having you, because who knows, that truck unloader on the back dock of Walmart might be a secretly good, one traumatic experience away from being evil level genius.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. Will, you got some final thoughts, friend?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you.
It's unsung heroes that hit with a passion to try to share the information, to try to make the world a better place, and to try to help change people's lives for the better. You're doing that. You're accomplishing that. And I applaud you and thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, guys. It has been a joy to be here today.
It's been a lot of fun. Good. I'm glad. Now everybody else, don't stop learning. That's when you start. Did you know that? Did you know that when you stop learning, you start dying? Think about it. Don't stop. Never stop learning. Try to find new things to do. Teach somebody else how to do them.
That is if anybody takes anything away today, if you learn something new, turn around and try to teach it as quickly as you can to somebody else too, because one, not only you'll pass it on and share it, but it'll reinforce what you just learned, and it'll make it part of your essence.
Yes, it will. 100%. And you know what? None of us are as smart as all of us.
Exactly.
Not even one. So you guys have a great weekend. We will not be here next week on Friday. So everybody have a safe and happy Halloween if you celebrate. If you don't, have a happy All Saints Day. If you don't celebrate that, whatever. Have a great next Friday. Go hang out with the family, hang out with the fur babies, whatever it is that you enjoy doing. Take that time and do it.
Absolutely.
We will see you back on November the 8th when we are going to have, my good friend John Mancuso. Fantastic. That's going to be live out later today. I'll have that together for you. And you can go and find that at the Secure Nation LinkedIn. Follow there, and you'll know when the event is live. Or you can go to the YouTube channel and follow the Coffee Table Talks at the Human API, all one word, because I like connecting humans together through secure gateways. Not to be confused with gatekeeping. We're talking about access points. So, yeah, this is the part where we smile and wave.
It was an awesome episode.
All right. Bye.